Hello, welcome back to the Mission YouTube channel. I'm here today with Matthew Edgar, and we're going to help young players and how we set up the dartboard and oche for them. Matt, I know you've got a lot of experience with this.
So what I'm very, very passionate about. Certainly when I was teaching and I was working in school, I mostly worked in an ultra academy, which was taken from reception right the way through to sixth form. And with that, you can't use the same equipment, you can't do the same things with someone you'd use in reception to what you'd use sort of key stage 3, key stage 4.
Okay.
Even down to footballs being different size, goals being different size, pitches being different size. In darts, we don't do that. And I think it's about time we change. First example, and this is something we can't change, a dart is sized to fit in your hand, an adult's hand. My hand's not the size of a child. Now, if they get the dart, they can't grip it the same way I do because there's too much tungsten either side. So what they traditionally do is go like this, so you've seen it a million times, and they go and throw the dart like so.
So what's the solution?
The solution, I think, what we can work with and what people can do at home is looking at the measurements and the oche. Now, one thing we know, from the bullseye to the floor, 5'8" and 7'9¼ to your throw point on the oche. That is designed for me, an adult player. Now, if we're looking at someone sort of under 12, the size difference between myself and an under 12 player is going to be quite drastic. Now, it's not all. We've got some anomalies to the rule. Of course we have. There's a few out there. First thing we're going to take a look at is the eye line. So if you think about my eye line as it goes through to the dartboard, and then the angle and the trajectory of the throw, when the dart is expected to cross over that line. What that's going to do is that's going to be an arc that's going to go just over the top of that eye line and drop back. It is perfect. It's absolutely picturesque, certainly for sort of an average sort of height person. When we look at going shorter, the eye line changes, so it's no longer straight towards the board, it's angled upwards.
Yeah.
The trajectory of the throw also changes and it breaks the line earlier. Now, because that breaks the line earlier, the player's not going to be learning proper techniques. How many times have you seen Wonder Kid come on the oche at 12 years old? Where are they when they get to 15?
Matt, and I've seen them almost throwing like this because it's the only way they can get the dart to reach is to reach, you know, they're not using proper technique.
Technique should come first rather than am I hitting a treble 20 or can I compete down my local pub? Yeah. Development of technique, development of the player. Now, to do that, we've seen some things come into play, people trying to make an effort, but unfortunately it's not worked out. What people tend to do is they tend to take distance off the oche. With that, if you think about the shape of a throw, from the oche to the board and across is a rectangle. Yeah. And we throw darts in rectangles and we work through those shapes. I'm not going to go too scientific, but we sort of work through those shapes. Now, when we go closer, we change that rectangle to a square. You've moved them closer, but now they've changed the shape. They're not developing technique. They're throwing up and out of it and cutting across the angle of that shape.
So is the solution then just to lower the board? Is that what you're saying?
No, because then what we've got is a more aggressive rectangle. Okay. The solution is very much we take a little bit off of here and we take off of there. What we take off in height, we must take off in distance. If we take 10% off the dartboard height, let's take 10% off the oche. If we take 20%, let's take 20. I have done a few calculations, I'll put those on screen for you. This is sort of for players that are 12 and under. This is working on the average height. Now, I did this study and research when I was working in the academy, and I went round and I got measurements of hands, measurements of children, and I worked out an average from that school, 60 children per year group, what exactly is the measurement distance, and they're the measurements I came up with. Take off 1.2 feet off the height and take off the same in regards to the distance for that percentage, and that should give you an opportunity to have the correct technique. Do you know what my dad did? My dad was sort of aware of this, but he wasn't quite familiar fully with how to make it work properly. And not only myself, but many other players have had this experience where he put the darts on the stairs. And then as I got bigger, he moved it up another step. And I used to throw darts on the stairs.
Love that.
And it just got bigger and bigger as it went up. So it allows you to learn and develop technique. If you've got a young player at home, if they're not quite to even half the size of what you'd expect an adult to be, don't get them on a full oche, because over time, the issues are going to be there.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips.